Welcome to Bandits Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. Today we're continuing my solo campaign. We're playing in original Dungeons & Dragons. We're using the outdoor survival game as my hex crawling tool, if you will, and Chainmail for my combat system. Kind of like what they recommend in original Dungeons & Dragons. Anyways, we're jumping in on the campaign here with the Foxes. Now the Foxes is my low-level party. The Foxes are my low-level party, I guess how you would say that. They went off on an adventure to raid a bandits camp, and I created a special kind of hex flower, if you didn't see the last sessions with the Foxes, and we're going to use that same hex flower today if we get to the camp. They had been somewhat successful. I mean, I guess a first-level party walking away with 1,000 gold pieces is not bad, but not enough, right? They need to pay back this map that they got. So they're going back to the bandit camp. They're going to try to raid again, and we're going to use the same process. Let's see how we do. All right, it is February 9th, and the Foxes are going to make their second run at the bandit camp. Now, even though in this campaign, I decided that, this part of the campaign, season 2, if you will, I decided that they didn't have to wait a month between sessions. I just got busy and I'm running one-to-one time. So it happens to be exactly 1 month and they're heading out. So they're up here. They leave from that house up there. They are going to where that skeleton is. It's not that far away. They did do a few things. They made $500, 500 gold in profit, I should say, last time. That wasn't enough to buy everybody horses, but I wanted to move faster, so we bought mules for everybody. So we have 7 mules with saddlebags. We also spent our monthly expenses, which are based on your experience points, which isn't very much at this point. So it was only about 10 gold pieces. I keep saying dollars. And from there, effectively, we've got like 70 gold pieces in the party pot, and they're out there to get it. So their movement's going to be 5 here. We're going to use the weather again for this group. I'm kind of going back and forth about whether I use it or not, whether I use the weather, but we'll give it another shot. This is from Solo Wargaming. And what we do here is I roll 2d6 to set a baseline for the weather. 7. We're going to look here in February for 7, and it's clear. Okay, cool. All right, so we're starting out on clear, which has no effect on our movement. We have 5 movement points, which effectively means in the plane, we can move 5. In the plane, we're lost on a roll of a 1. So let's start there. Let me get this book out so we can see the rules. Okay. Clear, we're lost on a 1. They are not lost. Okay, let me just note this down. It is February the 9th. And they're leaving. The weather's clear. I don't get lost, so I can make my full movement, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5, basically. We're there in 4 movement. So we made it to the location. We still need to roll for a couple things, though. Number 1, we need to roll if there's an encounter in the location. Because remember, hex is 5 miles. So it's not like we're right on the bandit camp. We're just in the same hex. So on a roll of a 6, there's an encounter. Okay. We have an encounter in this hex. So let me write this down. We're in the clear. So we're going to roll to see what it would be, because that's a Z8 roll. 7. Animals, okay. So we go to the animal table. And I'm going to say basic animals is probably what we're looking at here. 12, a D12 I should say. 9 scorpions. All right, so you can play this out several different ways. It says you could have like a bunch of little scorpions evade the camp at night. That's fun when you're playing with a big group and you want to do something fun like that. I feel like with this kind of stuff, I tend to just go with giant monsters just to keep it easy. So giant scorpions, let's see, large insects or animals. There's between 2 to 16 of them. Now what we want here is a lot, because the evasion rules favor a large group of enemies versus the party, basically. So we want a big number here. 2, that doesn't bode well. 2, there's only 4 of them. So 4, when there's a chance of 16, is about a quarter. So we've got, and our group size is 7, so 25% or less, that's 30%. We're on draft horses, which makes our, well, mules rather, which makes our movement 12, which is basically the same as the scorpions, so there's no advantage or disadvantage there. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to roll to see if either group was surprised. This white die will be us, this black die will be the scorpions. The scorpions are surprised, and if something is surprised, you can automatically avoid them. You don't have to do anything if you want to evade. And I think with this group being first level and having a mission. They're just going to evade the scorpions, and we're going to move on. In the evening of February the 9th, we arrive. At the bandits' camp. We hide in the woods there. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. In my adventure, I say that if the party like spies and stuff like that, they can get some advantage on some of the information that they have. Let me show you. Okay, so what I have here in my adventure that I made, Burgle Bandits, is that if the party if the party spends time investigating, they can get extra recon points. So I'm going to do a D3 extra recon points per day they stay observing. And I think we're going to stay one day. So on February the 2nd, I'm just going to roll for a random encounter, not for any being lost, because we're just going to stay here and observe. So let's see. If I don't get a 6, then we're good, and we'll go in on the 3rd. If I do get a 6, we'll see what happens. No 6. Okay. So we spend another day in the field. I don't know if I said the 3rd. I don't know why I said it that way, but I didn't get a 6. So it's February the 9th. I don't know why I said that. On the 9th, we traveled till the 10th. On the day of the 10th, we spent investigating. So on the day of February 11th, we're going to enter the camp. So if you haven't seen the first part of this, effectively I have a hex flower set up, and we'll do that. Before I do that, I should be rolling for the weather, because we stayed a day. You roll a d6. If it's 1 or 2, it moves up the chart. If it's 5 or 6, it goes down the chart. If it's 3 or 4, it stays in the middle. 1 or 2, so it goes up. So now our current weather is in the 6th position, which is still clear. Okay, it's February 11th. The foxes have entered the bandits camp. Again, I'm using my adventure I wrote, Burgle the Bandits, which is available for my adventurer level on the Patreon. I will eventually release these things, but, you know, you can kind of watch along and see. Now, what's happening here, I'll kind of explain it just in case you missed the first part, is I'm using a hex flower. I'm not going to get deeply into the hex flower. I've talked about them before. Check out Goblin's Henchman for a lot more detail, but I've made my own version of it. The party is starting down here. A single bandit patrol is starting there. Each turn, we're going to move around. If we encounter bandits, we'll deal with it. There's a few key spots that are important here. These here, there's a minor treasure spot and a major treasure spot. You've got guard posts and guard patrols, and then you've got some stuff that can add or remove recon and insight. Insight and recon can be used to basically manipulate the die roll to where we leave or enter, well, leave a hex, I guess, or where the enemies do. So you'll see it as we play it out, as opposed to me explaining everything. Now, we did spend one day out watching, and I decided I was going to give myself 1 to 3 extra recon. So let me roll that first. Okay, so that's 2. So I'm tracking my recon with this die. I started with 2, so now I have 4. Insight's more valuable than recon, but, you know, we use what we can. So here we go. Player characters go first. I roll 2d6, and I get an 8. Looking at my exploration, 8 sends me this way. And if we notice, if I try to go this way, there's a little arrow that puts me up. So I move to here. That's step 1. I could have chosen to redirect myself using one of my points, but there was no need to right now. Now, the enemy moves. They got a 9. 9 puts them here. Okay? Again, I can choose to redirect them if I want, but again, it doesn't make a point, sense at this point. Now for step 3, probably leave this open so you guys can see. I don't know if you can read it or not, maybe you blow up. And step 3, or C, we roll 2d6 plus the number of combats I've had and treasures recovered. So 2d6 plus nothing. 12 or better, another guard enters the thing. Okay, so no new guard this time. That's the end of turn 1. The way I'm doing this, by the way, because the hex flowers, I'm not worrying about tracking turns like you would in OD&D or BX. I'm not going to have to rest and stuff like that. We're just going to keep going. All right, here we go. Turn 2. I got a 9 that time. 9's also diagonal. Now here with the hex flower, you can go whoop, and you'll come through the other side. If I do that, I'm going to lose 1 recon, but I will get much closer to where I'm trying to go. I could choose to use a point to turn my direction if I want. But if I turn here, then I'm probably going to be closer to where that guard is, right? So I think I'm going to risk it and just do this. So I will lose a recon. It's kind of a bummer. But I would have lost 1 turning anyways. And I'm closer to the guard. Or closer to the treasure, I should say. Now I'm going to roll for the guard. They roll a 7. 7 is straight down. They are in a spot now where they gain 1 recon. So I'm going to use this to track them. For the guards, the recon and the inside are the same. So I don't really worry about tracking them separately. They'll just have a running pool. They can use it to change the direction from which they leave their hex. I'm going to roll 2d6 plus 0 to see if any more guards enter. They do not. Now we go to turn 3. This is the party's move. 5. Oh, interesting. Okay. So 5 comes out here and brings me here. So that is now a guard post. When we enter a guard post hex, roll to see the guard's makeup. So first we're going to see what guards are in the guard post. So I'm going to go to the guard post. And here we roll 1d6 plus a number of treasures and combats. So 1d6. 1. 1d3 bandits with leather and dagger. Okay. I'm not going to waste points trying to avoid them because I think we can take them. So what we're going to do is there's 1d3 bandits. There's 3. Piece of scratch paper. Okay. 3 bandits, leather and dagger. Now we're going to roll like we normally would for an encounter. We're going to see, is there a surprise? I'm just going to roll both at once. The black dice is the bandits, the white die is the player characters. The player characters are actually surprised. 1 or 2 means surprised. So they're actually surprised, so they couldn't evade if they wanted to. So basically at this point, the bandits see them and I'm going to roll a reaction roll. Now they are vastly outnumbered, the bandits they are, and they may try to run, which could create a situation where the player characters are going to try to take them out. We do have bowmen, which is nice. So let's see. Okay, the reaction is 7, which is neutral, kind of in the middle. So maybe it's nighttime, right? Obviously, if we did this at night, I probably didn't say that. They're maybe curious. They kind of are hesitant to see what happens. Let's see the distance, because I think this will matter. Okay, so they're not that far away at this point. They're basically 80, or they're pretty far away, actually. They're 80 feet away. Actually, no, sorry, there was a surprise. So it's supposed to be 2d4. 4. 3. Okay, so 70 feet away. So yeah. So I guess with the neutral reaction, 70 feet away, maybe they don't know whether or not they recognize the party. So maybe they call out to them. Hey, who are you? You're not supposed to be in this area. Something to that effect, right? And of course, the party is going to immediately open up with their bows. They're 70 feet away. Even if the bandits tried to charge at them, they'd get a pass-through fire anyways. So they spin around with their bows. They're going to fire on them. Let's roll initiative. Black is bandits, white is player characters. Player characters are clearly going to go first. And all the bowmen are just going to let loose. Heavy crossbow, longbow, longbow, heavy crossbow -1. All right, so we have 2 heavy crossbows. Actually, I'm going to have the longbows shoot first because longbows are generally, I imagine, will be faster. So longbows, one's longbow +1. So what I'm going to do here is because of the numbers, there's 3 of them and 7 of them. That's a large combat. We're going to use the troop combat system. So we're going to look up longbow. First of all, 7 is right at the short range, which is nice. Against Lightfoot, 1 die per man, 4 through 6 hits. Okay, so what that means is for our first character with the longbow, they get 1 die because they fight as 1 man, if you will, but they get 1 more die because it's short range. If either one of these 2 come up as 4, 5, or 6, that will kill 1 bandit. Okay, 1 bandit is down. Second longbow shooter, though, has longbow +1 because they have a dex bonus. So they're actually going to get 1 extra die. So they're rolling 3d6. If any of these are 4, 5, or 6, they take out a bandit. No. Okay. The better shooter misses. Okay, now we have heavy crossbow. There's 2 bandits left. Heavy crossbow, 8 is short range. So they're still in short range. So one of them is heavy crossbow. So 2 dice per man, 4 through 6 hits. So this guy is rolling, again, he's 1 man +1, so he's rolling 2 dice. He can add 1 to one of them. But then it's also in short range, so he's going to get 1 additional die for being in short range. So basically, he's getting 3 dice. He can add 1 to one of them. 4, 5, or 6 will be a kill. Okay, now this is interesting because he's got 2 kills, but because he's only with a crossbow, you have to target a single creature. You're not shooting multiple shots, a heavy crossbow especially. So even though that's potentially 2 kills, or could have been with a different situation, it's just 1. So 2 of the bandits have now gone down. And finally, our last heavy crossbow guy, he's heavy crossbow, -1 die, but +1 die because it's short range. So he's rolling 2 dice where you can add 1 to one of them. That fell out, so we'll roll it again. That's a kill anyways, but okay, that's a kill. So all 3 bandits go down. They were confused. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Arrows spill them. The party rushes up, slides the bodies into a dark alley. Now we've had 1 combat. Okay, that's the end of the party's turn. Of course, now the enemy that's right there gets to move. This is where our recon and stuff might come in handy. I'm going to roll for the enemy. They rolled a 3. Okay, so 3 actually puts them here, not where the party's going, so I will allow them to do that. Actually, I'm not going to do that. There is a rule that if a bad guy goes into either one of the treasure spots, they go off the board. So I'm going to spend 1 point of recon to turn their direction from here to here. Boop, they're off the board. So this is good for us. It gives us some free time. I should have done this strategy last time because we got overwhelmed quickly. That turn is now almost over. The last part of it is I'm going to roll 2d6 +1, 12 or better, and new bandit enters the scene. Oh, that's 12. All right. Got rid of that guy, and somebody's back. They always enter from there. Okay, that's the end of that turn. Next turn. The party's so close to getting treasure. And this is going to be a risky move here because if they can move into that treasure spot, they will get a treasure. However, they will find themselves having to fight that bandit. So we'll have to decide what they want to do there. Now, the other thing they can do, which is risky, but might be worth doing, is they can decide to stay where they are. And if they do, then they roll 2d6. If they get 7+, they get 1 point of recon. If they fail the roll, the other side gets 1 point of recon. So let's see. Should I do that? I'm not sure if I should do it or not, so I'm going to oracle myself. I'm just going to roll. I'll roll 1 die. 4, 5, 6, I'm going to do it. No. Okay, they're going to move. 4. Ooh, okay, 4 moves into a guard hexed. I'm going to use a point to, so 4 bring me here. I'm going to use the point to go in there because either way I'm going to have a combat, so I might as well try to get treasure out of it. Okay. I'm now in this hex, and this is a wandering guard, even though he's in that spot. So I'm going to go for guard, wandering guard. So a roaming bandit, 1d6 plus the number of treasures the PC's ever covered plus number of combats. So basically 1d6 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1d3, 6, oh, this is bad. Well, 1d3 bandits, leather, dagger, light crossbow. So how many? Okay, so 3. Okay, so now they're fighting somebody who has a weapon. All right, so again, I can use points to avoid this combat, but I don't think I have enough points to do that. Now that I just did this, it takes 3 to do that. So combat's going to happen. I'm going to roll 2 dice. Is any side surprised? Oh, the enemies are surprised. The party is not. That's very good for us because we are going to try to assassinate them as quickly as possible. So let's roll for distance. 8. Okay, so they're just... I think because we have surprise and we're going to get to shoot twice if we don't move, the longbows are going to stay where they are and not get the short range bonus. I think it's worthwhile to do that. If they move, if the longbow moves half their movement, well, if they move at all, really, they can only shoot once, which I don't really want to do. So again, trying to use ranged weapons, I'm just going to go this way. We're going to do the same thing as before. Oh, actually, this person has a light crossbow. I could use that before. We will this time. Longbow, longbow. We're at medium range, so there's no penalty or bonus. So this first longbow gets 1 die, 4 through 6 is a kill. Okay, that's 1 kill. The second longbow is 1 die, but then 1 die because of their dexterity bonus. So they have potential to kill 2. 4 through 6s are kills. For one side of the thing. No, they have the high dex and they keep missing. Next, I'll do this light crossbow because I didn't shoot before. They're light crossbow +1. So a light crossbow, okay, against light foot is 1 die per man, 5-6 hits. So again, their light crossbow +1, and actually, what's the range on a light crossbow is, okay, so they're in medium range. So they just get 2 dice, 5 or 6 is a kill. Nope, no kills there. Now we have our 2 heavy crossbow guys again. 8 is actually short range for them, so it's exactly like before. They get 2 dice for the heavy crossbow, the regular guy, +1 for being in short range. Okay, they take out 1 more. And finally, the other heavy crossbow guy is heavy crossbow -1, but then +1 because he's in short range. 4 through 6 are kills. He kills the 3rd one. Okay, so with the surprise round, they take, I'm flipping this up because it's another combat. They take out another 3 bandits. And they are also in a major treasure area. So for major treasure, roll 1d6 plus the number of treasures the PCs plus the number of combats. So they've had 2 combats, and they have no treasure. So 1d6 plus 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. 2, oh wow, okay. 2 pieces of jewelry worth 2,000 each. That's good. Okay. Now, a couple things. Oh, actually, they defeated them, right? Yep. A couple things are going to happen now. They would get to move, except they're dead, so they don't get to move. Oh, no, that's the party. The bad guys would get to move, but they're not there, right? But we are at the end of the turn, which means I'm going to have to roll 2d6 plus 3. 12 or better, another bandit will enter. Okay, that's 5 plus 3 is 8, so nobody enters. Now the party has a choice to make. Effectively, they could say, okay, I'm out of here. And then they could work their way backwards using the retreat chart. Or if they want to keep searching for treasure, which I kind of feel like they do, because why not, right? They can just start here. But they cannot retreat and leave until they at least recover a minor treasure or have a combat. And that is what they're going to do. So starting off the next turn, we're basically ready to go. Okay, 2d6 roll to see what direction the party can go. That's a 7. 7 would be down, which you just can't do, so you basically stay where you are. So they don't get to move at all this turn. There's no enemy to turn, but I do need to roll 2d6 plus 3 to see if a new one enters the field. That's 10 plus 3 is 13, so a new guard enters. Okay, they don't get to move, obviously, because that's the end of the turn. Next turn, party. 11. You know what? I think I want to get that minor treasure and maybe get out of here. How risky do I want to be? You know what? We're going for it. Okay, I'm just going to go there. When this starts to get high, that's when it gets dangerous. Okay, that group up there, I'm rolling for their move. 7. 7 is straight down. Okay, now I'm rolling 2d6 plus 3 to see if a new guard enters. They do not. New turn for the player characters. That is 4. 4 will put them back where they were, which I really don't want to do. So 4 goes here. So I think I will just, now I'm going to spend that point anyways. I should have done it before. Okay, they're going to go there. Enemy. Enemy is 10. 10 puts them this way, which is fine with me, so I won't mess with them. Actually, I wonder if they would... Yeah, you know what? They're going to use their 1 point. Go this way. I wanted them to pursue because, you know, they should be. 2d6 plus 3 to see if a new bandit enters. Nope. Back to the party. 6. 6 is straight down, which I do not want to do. Ugh. Okay. So I only have 1 point. And I might want to use it to move the other guy. But I don't feel like... You know what? I'm going to risk it. And this is probably a bad move. And I'm going to use my one... So I'm supposed to go straight down. So I can either go here or here. You know, I'm just going to go straight down. Let me not waste that point. Let's see what happens. Bad guy. 10. Okay, good. That worked for my advantage. Anybody new entering the field? No. Back to the party. 9. Okay, so again, that will put me, it goes supposed to go here, but that brings me to there. Bad guys. 9. Okay, so 9 for them goes like this. There. Okay. Oh, which is a treasure, so they disappear. Okay. 2d6 plus 3. Anybody new enter the field? That's 8 plus 3 is 11, so no. Back to the party. 2. Oh no, 1, 2 is good. Boop. Okay, no enemy to move, so let's see if a new one enters the field. Nope. Back to the party. 3. Ah, perfect. Boop, minor treasure. Handle that. Because now with the minor treasure, I can actually leave whenever I want. Well, I still have to get off the field, but at least I'm in a position I can leave if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed. Minor treasure. So in both cases, you roll the same here. Basically, it's 1d6 plus this number. So I'm rolling a d6 plus 3. So 6, 750 gold pieces. And by the way, I am, at least on some level, keeping track of encumbrance in my head here. The 2 gems are only 5 gold pieces apiece. So basically that was like, or pieces of jewelry rather. So they're not really, that's not heavy at all. But now we have 750 gold pieces, but I do have a couple people that aren't wearing any armor. So they'll carry it and it shouldn't slow me down at all. All right. Back to the, oh, let me flip this up. Back to here. Okay, so there's no enemy to move, so let's roll to see if a new one joins the field. So basically, if I get a 8 or better on this, 8 or better, there you go, there's 8. Somebody new joins the field. All right, just checking something quickly to see if my own rule. Yeah, now that I've looted that minor treasure, I can't actually loot it again until I loot the major treasure. So I got to make a decision if I want to try to leave, but let's just play out a couple more turns and see what happens. All right, the PCs are going to go. They roll a 3, which is a terrible place to go, but if they go there, they're going to lose 1 recon, which I don't have, so it won't actually hurt me, so I think I will go there, actually. Okay, now the enemy gets to go. They get a 7, 7 straight down, which puts them very close to me, but not on top of me. And then we're going to roll 2d6 plus 4 to see if we have anybody enter the field. Yes, this is what happened to me last time. This is what we don't want. If you've been enjoying these actual plays so far, and I assume you have since you made it this far in the video, please do take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good YouTube stuff. Also, if you want to join the community, jump over to my Discord server. There's a link in the show notes. Down there, you'll also find a link to my t-shirts and my Patreon if you want to support the channel. In any case, I'll talk to you soon.